David anointed king. In the land of Israel, the kingdom was in a state of transition. Saul, the first king of Israel, had begun to stray from the commands of the Lord, leading to a fracture in his leadership and divine favor. The Lord, who had once appointed Saul as king, now sought a new leader, a man after his own heart. It was time for a significant change, and Samuel, the prophet of God, was chosen to carry out this crucial mission. One day, the Lord spoke to Samuel and revealed that he had rejected Saul as king. God commanded Samuel to go to Bethlehem, a small town in the tribe of Judah, to anoint a new king from among the sons of Jesse. This was a daunting task, as Saul was still on the throne, and Samuel feared that such an action could be perceived as treasonous. The Lord provided Samuel with a plan to carry out his instructions without causing undue alarm. Samuel was to take a heifer with him and offer a sacrifice in Bethlehem. This religious observance would serve as a legitimate reason for his visit, and would also allow him to meet Jesse and his sons in a context that was acceptable and expected. Samuel followed the divine command and journeyed to Bethlehem with the heifer in tow. The townspeople were apprehensive at his arrival, questioning, "Do you come in peace?" Samuel assured them that he had come to offer a sacrifice to the Lord and invited them to consecrate themselves and join him in the ceremony. He also extended an invitation to Jesse and his sons to partake in this sacred event. When Jesse and his sons arrived at the sacrificial feast, Samuel observed each of them with keen interest. The eldest son, Eliab, immediately caught Samuel's attention. Eliab was tall, handsome, and appeared to embody the qualities of a king. Samuel thought, "Surely the Lord's anointed is before him." However, the Lord spoke to Samuel and corrected his initial impression, saying, "Do not look at his appearance or his stature, because I have rejected him." God does not see as man sees. For man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Despite Eliab's impressive appearance, he was not the chosen one. Samuel proceeded to call forth Jesse's second son, Abinadab, but again, the Lord did not choose him. Samuel continued this process, assessing each of Jesse's 7 sons in turn. With each son, the Lord's response was the same. He had not chosen them. Perplexed, Samuel asked Jesse if there were any other sons. Jesse replied that there was still the youngest, David, who was out tending the sheep. Samuel instructed Jesse to send for David, saying, "We will not sit down until he comes here." While they waited, Samuel told the people to remain consecrated for the sacrifice. When David arrived, he was a young shepherd, ruddy and handsome. He did not fit the conventional image of a king, but the Lord had already made his choice. As soon as David appeared, the Lord spoke to Samuel, saying, "Arise, anoint him, for this is the one." Samuel took the horn of oil that he had brought for the anointing and poured it over David's head. This act of anointing was not merely ceremonial, but carried profound significance. It symbolized David's divine appointment and set him apart for a special purpose. As the oil flowed over David's head, the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him from that day forward. This anointing marked the beginning of David's preparation to be the future king of Israel. Samuel's role in this event was pivotal, as it initiated a new era in the history of Israel and set the stage for David's eventual rise to the throne. After the anointing, Samuel departed for Ramah, leaving David with his family in Bethlehem. The departure of Samuel marked the beginning of David's journey from shepherd boy to future king. Although David had been chosen and anointed, he would not immediately ascend to the throne. The path to kingship would involve trials and challenges, including conflicts with the reigning king, Saul. In the meantime, Saul experienced a troubling development. The Spirit of the Lord had departed from him, and an evil spirit began to torment him. Saul's servants recognized that the king's distress could be alleviated by music and recommended finding someone skilled in playing the lyre. One of the servants mentioned a young man from Bethlehem named David, who was not only a talented musician, but also a valiant warrior and a man of integrity. David was summoned to the court of Saul, and his music had a soothing effect on the troubled king. Saul became fond of David and appointed him as his armor-bearer. This role allowed David to gain valuable experience and develop his leadership skills. Despite his new responsibilities, David remained humble and did not seek to undermine Saul's reign. David's journey from a shepherd boy to a king was marked by faith, perseverance, and divine favor. His story would go on to shape the future of Israel, leading to a united kingdom and the establishment of a lasting dynasty. David's reign would bring both triumphs and challenges, and his legacy would become a central part of Israel's history. The anointing of David was a transformative moment, highlighting God's sovereignty and his ability to choose leaders who align with his will. It also set the stage for the unfolding of a divine plan that would ultimately lead to the coming of the Messiah through the lineage of David.
This is just one story out of 1,000, waiting in the shadows of history. Follow Vault of Centuries for more untold mysteries, forgotten empires, and hidden truths.